Today we're learning lesson 2.3b. Now in this lesson is mostly some practice continuing from what we learned in lesson 2.3a on union and intersection of sets, which are two main operations we have in this situation. So starting off, let U be the set of all lowercase letters A through Z. Let M be math, M-A-T-H. Let N be money, the letters in the word money, M-O-N-E-Y, and let K be the letters in the word investor. Find N intersection K. So again, this means find the elements that are in both N and K. So we look at usually the smaller of the two and double check if those elements are in the other one. So starting with N, is there an M in investor? Looking through, no. Is there an O in investor? Oh, there's one, so O is written in that set. Continuing on, is there an N? Yep, there's an N right there. Is there an E? Yep. And there's no Y, so we only have these three elements. O, N, and E are elements in both N and K, right? Intersection. Next, find the union of N and K. So with the union, as a reminder, we grab all of the larger of the two sets. So I'm going to start with K, because it's the larger one, and I'm just writing all the letters in investor, I-N-V-E-S-T-O-R, separated by commas. And now I'm not repeating this time, so I got all these written, and now I'm going to N and filling anything that was missing. So I didn't write an M in there, so now I need to add an M. We already have an O, we already have an N, we have an E, now we need a Y, right? We don't want to double up on elements. Right, we just want one of each, so that it's investor and Y. Next, we're going to do the same idea with M and N, right? M union N and M overlap N. And for those who feel like we did this yesterday, we are going to add kind of duplicates where we're doing a union and an intersection, we're going to do a double union, and we're going to do a double intersection, right? So that's where this is coming from, where you're dealing with three sets. And what might the union of all of them be? What might the intersection of all of them be? It's just kind of a next step in using unions and intersections. So M-U-N is what is the elements in both M and N. I'll start with N is money, a little bit longer word than math, so writing the letters in the word money and then adding what's missing. So we already have an M, we don't have A, we don't have T, we don't have H, so adding the ath letters, A-T-H, to the end of that. So M-O-N-E-Y, A-T-H are my letters in both M, union, N. Next, we're doing intersections, so going the other way. I just want the letters that appear only in both. So starting with N this time, M for math, right? Because we're looking at overlaps, I want to start with the smaller one. So we do have an M, we don't have an A, we don't have a T, we don't have an H, so my set is simply the letter M. That's it. Now we're using A, B, C, D's results to move into kind of this duplicating. Find M union N first, then its intersection with K. Well, we just did this up here. So now we're starting with that money, A-T-H, and then looking for its intersection with K, which is investor, right? So again, both of those are pretty long words or amount of letters. So you can start with either way, but checking with I, there's no I in the M union N. N, yep, there's an N. So starting my list, we have an N. How about V? Nope, there's no V in the top option. E, there's an E. And continuing, there's no S. There is a T in both. And there's an O in both. There's no O in money. But there's no R in both. So this is my final set. N-E-T-O is again the set of M union N. Then we intersect K. So the set M union N intersected with set K gave us N-E-T-O. Netto, or I guess the letters in the word tone, but not doing word games. Next, find M union N, intersect K. So this wants the intersect first. Notice, these look very similar. The only difference is where the parentheses is, basically which one happens first. They're trying to show you that sometimes these situations will be equal, like the same result, sometimes not. So that's what we're checking for here. Now, N union K was on the last slide, so just kind of backing up for a second. What was it? N union K was N overlap K was 1, O-N-E. And again, note, I had a star on this one because there was a typo in the notes. So we're just looking at the elements 1, O-N-E, and overlapping it, union with M. So again, M is math. So we're doing, the set is going to be the letters in math, right? We write down the smaller one, or larger one first, and then add O and E, and those are my two sets. So again, this was M union after we intersected N and K. Right? Now, did those match? Did E and F match? No, we have different elements here, right? We got netto versus math 1, right? So those weren't the same. So what's our comment, right? Intersection union combinations generally are going to have different outcomes depending on order. So intersection / unions have different outcomes. Using math symbols, different outcomes or results. Moving on to the next part. And again, we have a lot more of what we just did. We're going to compare G and H to each other, and we're going to compare the I and J results to each other. So, again, M union N, that's from the last slide. So that's why you're kind of flipping your notes back and forth. But M union N was the math honey one. So just bring that over to this page so we can kind of compare that one. And now we are union with K. So we're adding all the elements in K as well. So which word's bigger? Not sure. They both look like they're about 8 letters. So just pick one, and then we'll do the other, right? When they're the same size, order doesn't matter as much. We're just going to write math honey again, M-A-T-H-O-N-E-Y. And now adding letters we don't have already. I's not in there. N's already in there, and money. B's not in there. E's in the word money, or honey. S is in. S is not in there. T is in math. O is in honey or honey. R is not in. Okay, so we got math, or math, honey, I-V-S-R. Now doing the same thing with H, except for we're starting with N and K union. So that's back on that first slide. Right, back on that first slide, N union K was money, I-V-S-T-R. So just remembering from the last one, we wrote it down, so we're just going to write it into our set. Money, and then we have I-V-S-T-R. A V looks like a U. We'll try again. There we go. Okay. So that is everything in N union K, and now we're adding things that are in M, which is math. So I have an M already. I'm missing an A, so add that. I have a T already, and I need an H. Okay. Yep. So now that we have all those, how does the results of G and H compare? Right, so looking at them, if you're not sure, maybe you can just pick a different color and check mark. So I'm going to math honey. Well, we got honey, and then math. So what's missing? I-V-S-R. So we got everything. Both of them are the exact same. Right? So technically we found out G equals H, and what's really the comment from that? These were all unions. Notice union, 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 union. So unions combined together is basically going to give us the same element for all sets, right? Because it's going to give us all the elements in the different sets. So no matter what order you do it in, you're going to have all the elements. Next, we've got 2 more to go before we kind of wrap up this part of the lesson. We've got I and J. N intersect N intersect K. Okay, so N intersect N, again, flipping your notes over. M intersect N, this was literally just the letter M that was in both math and money. So just N, and now we're seeing, we're overlapping it with K. So what are we going to get? Is the letter M in investor? Nope. So we aren't even going to get any results here. We're going to get a null set. Right? There's no element because M is not in investor. Right? Looking over there. M is not in investor. So null set, which again means there's no items or it's empty. Now let's see what happens when we do the same thing with J. So J, we're dealing with N intersect K first. So again, back to slide 1. N intersect K was the letters in the word one. In other words, what was our overlap with money and investor? Okay. Now, are any of those letters in the word math? Because that's what we're doing here. So go ahead and look at that while I'm writing down kind of our, here's what we have, equals. Nope, there's no O in math, there's no N in math, there's no E in math. So we again have an empty set. Right, so again, I was comparing these to math up here for those who are like, where were we at? So another empty set, and what does this mean? Right, we matched again, so now we can make a statement about intersections, right? So with an intersections, what do we get? Intersections really give us only the elements that's in or repeated in every single set, okay? So only the elements that are in each set or in every set, however you want to say that. I'm just going to abbreviate that. The elements are in all sets. So in this case, right, we didn't have any that were in all 3 math, money, and investor words. And that wraps up this portion. You will notice there's more notes. However, those leftover notes go into discussing how 2,3C's formula that I'll give you works. So it just talks about proving how something works. So with this information, you'll be able to do the 2,3B homework.